Hello and welcome to VOD of Consciousness with Sientir. I am Sientir. You can support me at patreon.com/Sientir. We are here to go after the Facet of Balthazar. As a quick bit of business, there won't be any Hellblade Senua's sacrifice this week. I had some nausea this morning and figured it would be a very poor idea to play a game that gives me motion sickness when that happened. So, that is that. Okay, so we are here in the Verdant Cascades. It says it right in the middle of the screen. And we need to hunt down the destruction of Balthazar. Facet of Balthazar, the Cipher of Balthazar, whatever. We're looking for a thing that represents Balthazar, is what I'm getting at here. Around here somewhere. We just need to figure out which direction makes it go stronger. I'm not actually sure which way it is. I brought a certain scan for no particular reason other than it sounded nice. Yeah. So if I start getting blocked, I guess I can use it. I think what I want to do after this, actually, after this particular quest chain, to be clear, I'll have gotten most of the Asern skills at that point. The main ones that remain are, there might be one or two, like, random ones out and about, but the main ones that are going to remain are, let's see, this does not feel promising. The main ones that are going to remain are going to be the polymorph skills, the summon spells that you get from playing polymorph. And I'm going to be honest, I forgot to turn off notifications. Pardon me. Now you know what time it is that I'm recording this at. Where was I? Who's using wells? We're not using wells. I should stand out of the well. But anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my notifications, there's some summon spells that you can get from playing polymorph. I'm not the biggest fan of polymorph. I mean, I don't dislike it per se. It's an interesting idea, but it's not, wow, they just learned why you shouldn't stand near a dervish, I guess. My issue with polymorph is predominantly that I find it to be kind of a little hit or miss and a little grindy, and you really need the stronger pieces to, I don't know. It's not my favorite thing to do in the game. It's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't feel like stuff runs that much. I feel like this is a bit wasted to have the crippling. Paragon Elite skills are just so boring, though. Okay, this is out here somewhere. It's like all of the Paragon Elite skills are energy management for the Paragon. That's not true. A lot of the Paragon Elite skills are mostly just energy management for the Paragon. Like, they serve some benefit, but can anyone explain to me why crippling the enemy with attack skills is an elite, other than the fact that it's for Adrenaline Anthem? Like, if this was 6 Adrenaline, it wouldn't be elite. Okay, where is this thing? Okay, I'm starting to get hits now. I don't really need to certain scan these guys, unless I start using Guardian or something. They do not seem to be inclined to do that. Withdraw hexes is one of those skills that seems very backwards to me. Like, it's designed to be anti-hex, but the problem is its recharge is tied to how many hexes you remove, i.e. the more you remove, the longer the cooldown, which sounds like it's a perfectly fine idea at first until you realize that design means that you can't actually effectively use it against a team spamming hexes. So it actually just doesn't do what you want it to do, which is very frustrating. Some more certain rep points isn't always nice. I feel like I need to get to somewhere over this way. Oh, it's going down. Continue to go down. No, no, now it's going up. What was it? Oh. I think I need to go over here. Call it a hunch. But, like, why couldn't we get an elite version of Hexbreaker? The Hexbreaker one. Okay. Go back to the other side of the bridge. That would be more interesting. Because if we had an elite version of that at, like, 5 adrenaline and 1 second activation time, that could be kind of useful. I mean, it might be too good, I don't know, but at least be more interesting than some of these marginally beneficial energy management type elites. Basically what I'm talking about is Anthem of Guidance and this which makes your next attack skill miss, and Crippling Anthem makes your next attack skill inflict cripple. Both just feel like they're energy management for Paragons to do other stuff with, and they're very, very unexciting as elites to me. So, I mean, the general weird state of Paragon elite skills was not known to the developer, or was not unknown to the developers, like they were aware of it. And I feel like this is probably better than I'm giving it some amount of credit for. Like, keeping all of your enemies perpetually crippled is actually pretty good, realistically speaking. It's just less exciting in a PvE setting where the enemies don't run as much. I don't know. I just feel like there's probably better options like water snares or something, but okay, more this direction. Man, Merciless Spear is being really redundant feeling. A lot of these enemies are getting deep wound really quickly anyway. My party's good at inflicting deep wounds, is what I'm saying. Okay, maybe it's across this bridge. Oh, hey, look. It's a bridge troll. That's cool. You can see, like, Crippling Anthem wouldn't do anything right there, right? He's not running, he's attacking. And that's the thing, is, like, enemies generally don't kite unless they're being hit by AoE. In which case, I guess it's marginally useful, but... there, whatever. That will be our somewhat unexciting screenshot for... how long does this thing even last? 11 seconds? Okay. Cool. That's all that we will need for that quest. What's the next one? Cipher of Duena. And Tarnished. Where is this? Wanting us to go down here. Riven Earth. Well then, let us go to Riven Earth. I can just turn them all in at once, so it kind of makes sense to me just kind of do it this way. But let's see, was Zenmai using... cool. She's doing what I want her to be doing. Okay, I want to take a moment because, like, Merciless Spear is not being exciting. Let's actually use Spear of Lightning. Pretend we're Solaire or something. Instead of a CERN scan... Man, Smooth Criminal is so... You know what? It's terrible. Let's use it. It is not great. I still don't quite understand why it's a thing that they have on here, but whatever. I should actually be switching over to my Deldrimmer. Javelin, but I need to go back to the... Where's my... There's... Wow, we started off really close to this one. Wow, that's nice. I always appreciate that. Gonna go up. Good. Oh, spiders. We found some spiders. Oh, there's no spell to steal from that guy. Obviously, it doesn't do anything if they don't have any spells. Yeah, I see you're effectively blocking us. Somebody hex it. Natural stride ends if you get hexed. Is why I say that. You can use it while you're hexed, but... Or enchanted, I believe. But it's actually very, very, very strong. It's kind of like a non-elite version of Escape, which is very strong in and of itself. But it looks like this asset is going to be over here somewhere. Maybe up this way. I'm just keeping my eyes on the proximity to target meter. Although we're getting close enough that I should actually realistically be looking for this ring here that you see kind of glowing awkwardly. I want Guardian. Yay. See, here's the thing, is it lasts 2 seconds. This is not a skill that you use so that way you get access to the spell. I mean, theoretically you could. But you use it because it's a combination energy management, because using it gains you energy. And because when you use it, the enemy cannot use their spell because it's being disabled, right? Okay, Facet of Illusions, Magus Stones, over this way. And, I don't know, let's just put on something else that's interesting. I'm currently in / Necromancer. This is like better energy management, though, if I'm just bringing something to be energy management. I'm / Necro because I was looking at some of the blood magic stuff, and I want to go get Well of Power. I think I mentioned that. I just did that without grabbing the friggin' bounty, didn't I? That was... Whoopsie. Whoopsie-daisy. That's okay. Not, like, critical or anything. Okay, hopefully this is not far away. I think we're going to be going to Mineral Springs next episode. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll probably finish out this full quest chain this time. Oh, we're starting to get some... Oh, we're starting to get some crippling anguish. Ugh. Yeah. Some AoE damage that gives me some... Ugh. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't counter that. Man. Interrupt it is the term for this game. Conjure Phantasm is one of those spells that, like, costs 7 energy, but actually costs 10. Like, it's distinctly, it would be broken at 5. Like... Might be okay at 8. It's about a 7.5, I think. And it's... I have lots of thoughts on this sort of thing. Is what I'm saying. Okay. Now we're having cause to use this, because these guys are running around like crazy. Oh, good. Skill point. I kind of wonder if I should maybe get Necrosis. That's really easy to pick up, though. Just going into the Sunspear Great Hall. Okay. Do I need to go this way? Yeah, okay, this direction. Apparently we're going to fight some more crate, because they're here. These guys are probably less annoying than the... Actually, I don't know. I don't know if they're less annoying or more annoying. They're definitely annoying. So the reason why these crate are annoying is because they'll do this thing called metamorphosis, where they transform into a different form of crate. And the issue with that is that they have a tendency to do that, and then like they'll die, and then the new one will spawn, and it's really annoying. So yeah, looks like it's gonna be probably in this water just past these crate here. So like they all start as crate Neos like this that are warriors, and then they use metamorphosis, but then they'll die and be replaced. So it's really obnoxious. I got all sorts of hex crap on me. Oh, good. Slain 15 enemies. I think that gives us a higher bounty reward when we fight the facet, which I suspect is over here in this pool, or not. Could also be not in the pool. Okay, not that way. Not actually in the pool, but like near here. Don't freaking tell me I need to go on the opposite side of this. Okay. Well, we've got a jungle to traverse through, everyone, because apparently it is on the opposite side of this. However, I do think I shall make a quick stop over at this experiment crew member. I got kind of weirdly lucky and unlucky in the weirdest way here. What I'm saying.
I'm busy.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. Okay. Well, I don't have anything insightful to say. I've been watching a lot of Ocarina of Time randomizers as of late, which I've been really finding rather interesting. It's given me a lot to think about just in terms of like randomizers in general. That was a lot of damage off of that. Spread out, but and just like because I've been really fascinated with randomizers ever since I saw Dan Jones play Beta Quest. For those who know who that is, but Beta Quest is a mod for Ocarina of Time that shuffles zone transitions, and from there I ended up stumbling across the races that Speed Gaming, I think it is, does for a lockpick. A Link to the Past. And I found those to be really cool. And that got me into the whole idea of like randomizers beyond just entrance shuffling. And so I've been doing a lot of thinking about like what makes for a good base game for randomization. Like I like the idea of designing a game from scratch to have a randomizer applied to it. And so just thinking about like what sort of things contribute to it. And of course, we're talking about two different types of randomizers here. We're talking about item randomizers, which shuffle the locations of items, like the Dark Souls one has a randomizer in this way, for example. There's a Link to the Past randomizer that way. I've been watching Ocarina of Time randomizers that work that way. There's one for Wind Waker 2, actually. And a bunch of other ones. But The point of where I'm going with this is that there's the entrance shuffling type randomizer, which makes the zone transitions all random. Like, if I were in this game to walk through a portal, and if it suddenly popped me in, if I were to walk through this portal into Radisum, and instead of entering Radisum, I ended up in Riverside Province or something, that would be entrance shuffling. Versus what happens with these other randomizers, which are like, the Megaton hammers in a chest in Mido's house in Kokiri Forest or something like that, which I have definitely seen before on some of these runs. But what's like there's certain design things that are good for them. For example, like an entrance shuffler, something that I think is really cool is what happens to a place like the Gerudo Fortress, where it goes from, basically being its own isolated zone to the fact that it has so many little entrances cause it to function as a hub. Like, you end up, it's not uncommon to watch like a playthrough of that where people end up in did I talk to this? I don't remember. Going through Gerudo Fortress a lot because you end up, it has so many entrances and exits and stuff that you end up just there like all the time. So I think that's really interesting. Where is this? Over this. Okay. Should be able to start seeing it. Oh. Right. No, that's just a Wind Rider sneaking up on us. And that's a Wind Rider boss that I guess we're going to fight because I walked over close enough that we're going to fight it. Never Surrender is not useful when everybody's at full health. It would be very useful right now, so it is unfortunate that I used it when everyone was at full health. That, by the way, is an example of opportunity cost, where it's a skill that does a really powerful effect, but if I use it too early, the effect is not actually any good. Because what it does is it gives everyone +4 health regeneration if they are below a certain amount of health. And that, as you can figure, doesn't do anything when everyone's at full health because of that. So using it at the wrong moment kind of squanders it. Where is this thing? Not like in the middle of this set of trees, is it? I literally come around this whole thing trying to find this. Is there like a path where I can get up there? This has been very, very confusing. I'm trying to figure out the topology. Ah, here we are. Okay, so it's probably up this thing then. Ah, yep, right here. Here we are. Hi. What happened to Denkoro? Why did he have all of the damage on him? Cool. What is this thing over here? Oh, there's just a tunnel through. I guess I could have actually gone around that way and around, maybe. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so at this point, we can go back to the Tarnished Haven and get some quest rewards. Kirsch is over this way. Okay, let's do a smart thing and clean up my inventory first. Because I got a lot of stuff in my inventory, and I don't want a lot of stuff in my inventory. Oh, Eben. That's interesting. Eben is actually potentially a useful mod for a scythe just because of good old Eben Dust Aura. Why did I click on you? Eben Dust Aura, which is for in Earth Prayers. When you cast it, all nearby foes are blinded for a little bit. You really wield this because when you wield an earth weapon, your melee attacks deal plus earth damage. And then when it ends, your cure blindness. I think this used to have a more powerful effect, like it blinded things when you had. But see what... Okay, so this is specifically melee attacks. So you can do this with like an axe and other things. I think Ebon Dust Aura used to be a lot stronger. So that's probably really honestly just not worth worrying about. Yeah, like that. I feel like that used to be a lot stronger. Hello, merchant. I do want to salvage the Cutzel Bracer, but when your inventory is full, you can't salvage things because your inventory is full. Where would it go if you got potentially multiple things or whatever? So you just can't salvage stuff while your inventory is full. Okay. Let's go speak with Kirsch. What was Ebon Dust Aura? Let's see. Oh, the added damage is armor ignoring. That's nice. Not worth investigating right now. Okay, so we can turn in these ciphers. So this one, for example, Kirsch says, the wavelength patterns here are clearly different from the first cipher, but what does it mean? Perhaps the answer lies in that which is alike, or that which is different. I require more ciphers before it will become clear. There is more for you to do, Carmen Angelus, but for now, take this compensation. And we get Mental Block, which is an interesting enchantment. It gives us a 50% chance to block attacks, and it's reapplied every time we get hit. So it's kind of interesting from that regard. This is good, Carmen Angelus. Very good. It's fascinating. Do you see? Look how there are breaks in the signature. They are not the same amongst the different ciphers. I need more to work with, but we are getting closer. Allow me to give you this for your continued services. You get Radiation Field. This is not... I don't know if this is any good or not. I usually don't think of it as being very good, mostly because it's very expensive. It has 2-second cast time, which is a little annoying. 12-second recharge is pretty fast, though, and that's pretty meaty amount of health degen. This one's considered to be extremely powerful. The one you call Lissa, goddess of illusions. Does she mock us? Taunt us? Perhaps she's trying to tell us something. My eyes are open and my ears strained to hear. We must gather the last cipher. Only then will we understand. Technobabble. Target foe and all adjacent foes are struck for some damage. If the target foe is not a boss, that foe and all adjacent foes are dazed for 4 seconds. Note that this does allow you to daze bosses if you... I'm going to actually equip it now. If you target something next to a boss that isn't a boss. I'm pretty sure that's how that works anyway. So, the stories of your god Cormier fascinate me most. To think that a mortal, a human no less, could transcend into something greater. Was it all part of the eternal alchemy? Was there some hidden design that preordained it would happen that way? Or does a power exist that can go against the schemes of fate? These questions rend at me sharper than any claw. This is it. Only her cipher remains. Take the divination. Go to Arbor Bay. The facet of spirit will be there. So we'll get Star of Transference, which is just a skill point. Pain Inverter, which is also extremely powerful. Certain rep points. This might be a little bit of a longer episode. I just want to finish this entire quest chain. There will be a little bit more after this. So there's one more quest after this one is what I mean. Specifically. Try to make that a little bit clearer. 8 Power Stones of Courage. I wonder what's required to craft those. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make my way out this way. Past the pony, apparently. Hello. Oh, wow. Sorry, I looked up and it was at half strength already, which was very close. These crate are not worth technobabbling. They are not casters. You can see they use Metamorphosis right as they're dying, which is very annoying. But yeah, Technobabble is super, super strong just because it's kind of a sort of a cry of frustration that lets them be easily entrapped for a short bit afterwards. Is this going up? Or, okay, it is going up this direction. And so, yeah, as you can see, Technobabble tends to give you good opportunity to shut everything down. Let's see here. I like the little sparkles on the water. It's a well done effect. Well, regardless, I enjoy it anyway. Obviously, Technobabble is not as strong of a dazing skill as using Stunning Strike plus Epidemic, which is a very, 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 very powerful combination. But it is one skill and not two, and does not require a specific profession. Okay, I just kind of want to see if... Nope, it is decidedly more towards the giant pile of crate than not towards the giant pile of crate. Okay. For the giant pile of crate then, I guess. Not exactly thrilled about that, but here we are. Well, at least I got a lot of crate skin for no particular use. But yeah, Metamorphosis is annoying. Ugh. Look, if I kill the enemy, it should stay dead, not spawn a new enemy. That's all I'm saying. It's like they use Metamorphosis, and at that point, the spawn is like triggered. And there's nothing that can be done about it as far as I can tell. I'm not especially worried about these crate. But... Okay, it looks like it should be right near here. I'm definitely using more energy with this build too, though, because I'm using Lightning Spear, so I should remember that. Or Spear of Lightning. Whatever. Where are you? Oh, up here. Okay. For some reason, this is a dervish when Cormier was a paragon. I don't know. Probably a boss, so that probably didn't daze, but whatever. Not like you get much use out of dazing that particular build anyway. Okay, so now we need to go see Kirsch for our reward again. Okay. This is not a good skill to be using at this point. Inconceivable. I suspected as much, but to actually be proven right. The ciphers of these signatures, to put it in simple human terms, are giving us coordinates. There's a place that we must go. The answers must be there. So we get Star of Transference and Pain Inverter. So Pain Inverter is really powerful. For 8 seconds, every time target foe deals damage, that foe takes a chunk of that damage. A greater quantity of damage. This is known for utterly destroying certain enemies. This will give us the Air of Superiority skill, as well as Kirsch's Staff, which is just a generic plus 60 HP staff. Not useful to us personally, but we can always throw it on a caster hero. So the time has come, Carmen Angelus. I have deciphered the message hidden within the magical signatures. There are coordinates pointing to a location in Varjar Fells. You have been useful thus far for human. I do not know what we will face there. Go to where the message instructs. The answers will be waiting there, and so shall I. The truth is out there. X-Files reference. Woo wee woo, or whatever the proper thing is for that. I'm actually going to switch over to Stunning Strike because I think it will be useful. That's my reasoning. Let's see. Anything else that I think would be especially good to have in my character? Weapon Vanguard Assassin Support's always some nice additional DPS. And, how about Anthem of Flame? Okay. I in particular want Stunning Strike because there's going to be a bunch of caster bosses that we're going to be facing. So, anyway, we need to go all the way up here. It's going to take place in this area, I want to say. You'll see. It's a common, like, spooky, mystical area type of place. I'm going to use this Star of Transference because I might as well just give myself the skill point. I'll worry about merging those between episodes. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up this admittedly kind of lengthy episode by remembering that we're in Norn territory, and therefore I should be a Slayer of Nightmares. What was my certain? Not too clumsy. Okay, but I'm pretty close to rank 4. So that's kind of cool. Hi, I want these, thanks. What's the best way to get where I need to go? I need to get myself over into this area, and I think, because you need to go in from the top, I think going along here actually is probably the best way to get there. Probably? I don't know. We have to go through some ice imps. Oh, and these stupid things like to spawn out of the trees. They're not terrible. Unless they're in enormous quantities. And they are kind of terrible. Like these numbers. These numbers are pretty unfortunate. Although honestly, the the sympathetic visage is kind of rough because that makes all of our that guy's I'm being obstructed on. That makes all of our attackers quite weakened in efficacy. I like seeing all the burning that happens after I use the Fire Anthem. What is happening to Talcora? Oh, she's like tanking some AoE spells or something silly like that. I do like that Anthem of Flame is energy neutral, or actually energy negative. Like it costs me 5 energy to use and gives me 6 energy back, typically. So that's nice. I wish I had more to say right now. It's just like, here I am fighting Ice Imps. And Shadow Vitir. Oh yeah, I was talking about randomizer stuff earlier. So, yeah, I've been thinking about like what sort of things contribute to certain types of randomization being interesting. And so it's interesting that the Legend of Zelda games actually have a lot of mechanics that are great for randomizers. Notably, they have a couple of different categories of stuff. So they have things like the strength upgrades. For example, Ocarina of Time has the Goron bracelet followed by the silver gauntlets and then the gold gauntlets, right? And so these are like progressively more opening, as it were. Like if you get the Goron. So basically the premise of a randomizer is these items are in locations that have been scattered around the world. They've been randomized, right? And so the strength upgrades are a progressive upgrade. So the way that these sorts of upgrades usually work is the first one is that you find functions as the first level. The second one you find functions as the second level, and the third one you find functions as the third level. So there's not so much that there are Goron bracelets somewhere and silver gauntlets somewhere and gold gauntlets somewhere. It's that there's a strength upgrade somewhere, and the first time there are 3 strength upgrades, and the first time you get it, it's the Goron bracelet. The second time you get it, it's man. I read that it is mod near tonic, not tunic. It's so the next time you go there, or the next one you find is silver gauntlets, etc. Wherever I was at in that. So that's one type where it's like it's progressive. Another example is hook shot and long shot, where there's 2 instances of whatever you want to classify this item as. That hitching was on my end, by the way. And then the next time you find it, you get the next one. So this is really interesting in that it gives you more instances of it to find, but you ultimately have to find all of them, right? So the first one, it has more possible locations than the subsequent ones, which is really kind of interesting to me. But then the other type is the one that's just like straight, yeah, this is a bonus, where it's kind of nice to have. So like the bows function this way. The bow and slingshot and Ocarina of Time, where the first instance that you find is the item itself, and it's like super important. But the next ones are just the convenient, nice to have of the larger quiver. So this is interesting to me from the standpoint of like, this is one where it's just a really important item, and there's just more instances out there. And if you find additional instances, it's not like it's fine. Wow, I lost my lockpick on a purple. That's annoying. So it's like, yeah, okay, this is really nice and handy, but strictly speaking, you don't need bigger quivers. They're just nice. Same thing with like the bomb bag, for example, where there's the 2 larger sizes of the bomb bag, and that's nice. It's not strictly speaking necessary, right? And I enjoy. Kirsch says, undoubtedly, this is the place of discordance point. The 6 shall converge here. So what we have to do is just fight all of the facets. Not a huge task or anything. I honestly don't know why this. I mean, it's good for rep points, I suppose. Oh, Gladiator's defense. That's a cool elite. That's completely worthless against Zenmai. He says, they do not divulge their secrets easily. So anyway, I like those sort of progressive items. But then there's also things where it's like, this is really, really helpful, but it's technically optional, like the Lens of Truth. Like, you don't need the Lens of Truth. You can navigate everywhere that you need it without it, technically, but boy, does it help. And that's really cool, too, to have, like, yeah, you want this, but strictly speaking, it is optional. So, like, if you're not finding it, it's not the end of the world sort of thing. Which I think is really interesting as well. So, there's just different categories of stuff that becomes apparent that they have design-wise in Ocarina of Time, kind of by accident. Kirsch says, this is the eternal alchemy at work. Even your human gods cannot stand against its inevitability. And so I like the idea of what can you do with randomization and what sort of items make for an interesting experience and stuff that way. And this Ocarina of Time has a couple of really cool ideas and categories. Here we have the ephemeral spirit. At long last. And then you get a sort of cipher. This is kind of weird in that this wouldn't really work because this is a written thing. It's a written cipher, so I'm not sure. Like, it's not really pronounceable. So basically, it's like downloading a bunch of text to Kirsch and for him to translate. I think you can translate it. I think he does translate it. So I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I Bowels. And Kirsch says, "Wait, you lead me this far only to tantalize me with further mysteries? Know this, if it takes until the sun sets on the final day of creation, until the wheels of the eternal alchemy seize up and tear apart in the fabric of the universe, I shall decipher your secrets." No, tear apart the fabric of the universe, whatever. He says, "Where I have sought answers, I have found only questions. There is meaning behind these words. I have memorized all that was said and will ponder it. I will not forget the assistance you have provided, Carmen Angelus. Perhaps when I find my answers, I will see you once again at the end of the path." Air of Superiority is interesting. So every time you kill an enemy, or get experience points from killing an enemy specifically, which often just translates into killing an enemy, you get some sort of benefit, such as bonus energy, recharging all of your skills, more accurately, resetting all of your skill chart. It's I don't think it can recharge things that only recharge on a morale boost, but removing all conditions from you. There's just some random useful stuff that comes from it. It's fine, not stellar. And then, of course, we get Kirsch's staff. So anyway, I think that's going to go ahead and, because that concludes this particular quest chain and means that I also have a bunch of Asuran skills now. I think the only ones I'm missing are the other ones, which are kind of annoying to get. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. And until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.